back to my Minecraft playtime series, and today we've got so much to do, so I think we're just gonna jump right into it. Going back in time just a tiny little bit to the mysterious time in between episodes, I decided to do a raid, and no real big reason to do it. I just kind of felt like it was time that I finally got a totem, and things went absolutely flawlessly, and I was never in danger a single time, so that was nice. And then immediately after the raid, I decided to build myself a little turtle farm, and we got to witness the miracle of life on camera, and it was absolutely beautiful watching the tiny little turtle crawl its way into the sea. I then decided to head back to the nether and give breaking the bedrock on the nether roof one more try because it's been a long time and I finally had a little bit more TNT and it did not go well. So I tried again and I failed again. And so I tried it one more time and we finally got it. So now we have a hole in the nether roof and we don't have to keep relying on portals. Now we just need to mine ourselves up a ton of obsidian and then we're ready to build our first farm. Actually, I lied. There is one more thing we need, and, well, it's not a shovel, but right now the shovel that we're currently using has silk touch on it, and we need one that doesn't have silk touch so that we can get ourselves a whole bunch of flint. And this is where we start to see our library becoming incredibly useful. So we can just grab a mending, fortune, unbreaking 3, and 2 efficiency 4 books. Now we can just combine them all and then add it to our shovel. And I actually forgot, we don't have efficiency 4, we have efficiency 5, so I only needed 1 book. We'll just put that back so we can use it later. And now we can lay waste to the seafloor. I think this ought to be enough. We got all of this just from about 10 seconds, and by 10 seconds I mean I guess maybe like a minute of mining. And now here I am in the Soul Sand Valley, ready to build, if you hadn't already guessed it, a giant ghast farm. I need a source of gunpowder, and I wouldn't mind getting some ghast tears as well, and I'd rather do something like this than build like just a normal creeper farm, because creeper farms don't give you anything but gunpowder. So yeah, we're gonna give this a try. This will be my first time building a ghast farm of this scale. And in case you're wondering where I got the design, there will be a link in the description, but I got the farm from ENX04. And the farm itself was honestly almost shockingly easy to build. The hardest parts were, one, when I came back over to the overworld, it was nighttime, so I had to kind of fight off some zombies and stuff while I was here. But then after building it, I went back to the nether and I had to build up the obsidian portals, and I accidentally put these 4 pillars in the wrong place, so I had to destroy them, and you know, destroying obsidian is kind of a pain, but everything else went fine, which is really all I could ever ask for. And now we get to see the incredibly noisy and slightly intimidating farm. But yeah, if we just come in here and get our ears destroyed, I will not make you listen to that again. But yeah, once you turn the sound off, it's pretty solid. No complaints here. We're gonna get all of our gunpowder and ghast tears, and then we'll be all ready for our next project. Now we can just craft up a whole bunch of TNT because we're gonna need it. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? Luckily, I got a lot better at it as I went on, and by the time I got to the end, I was starting to get it on my first try almost every time. I mean, there were a few times it was pretty bad, but much better overall. Alright, well, we've made it quite a ways, but I think the method that I'm using isn't quite as effective for getting these inner areas. Otherwise, I'll have to take it out quite a bit farther to get all of this bedrock here on the inside. So I'm going to look and see if I can find a different method that'll be just a little bit better for me to use in here. And I really wish that I'd started using this vertical technique just a little bit earlier on, because I think I only messed up maybe 3 times this entire time lapse. It was a real game changer. All right, well, that was quite the endeavor, but we got something. I think I might make it a little bit bigger at some point, but I'm honestly pretty tired of just breaking bedrock over and over again. So eventually we'll make this bigger and we can have like this whole nether hub thing going on, and I think it'll be really cool. But if I don't get started on this next project, then it's not gonna be finished before I gotta put out this video. So time to gather some resources. Completely forgot to bring something to charge it up. Well, we made it through, and yeah, we got a whole bunch of resources. This took me an incredibly long time, and typically when I do resource gathering, I don't just go out and get everything that I'm gonna need for a build all at once. But since I started making these videos, I've wanted to, kind of stay organized and not just build a tiny bit of something and then move on to something else like I have had a habit of doing in the past. I mean, clearly I still do it some, still haven't done the walls. This interior is definitely not done. And even up here where we've kind of got things done, we've still got these huge areas back here that just have nothing in them at all. No roof over here. But regardless, I even learned a couple things about enchanting throughout that time lapse. For example, enchanted books. You can only enchant them 6 times. So I put this same book through the anvil 5 times already, which means that no matter what, it always says too expensive. So this is just kind of a fun, unusable book that I have now. But also, I learned that the ice that you make from Frostwalker boots can't actually be mined even if you have Silk Touch. So yeah, I had to go and find all this ice by myself, but these are still going to be useful for reasons that you will see very soon, and reasons that you've probably figured out already. But there were actually 3 different things that took me the most amount of time, and it wasn't the obsidian, despite the fact that I fell asleep while I was... Oh, hello there. Despite the fact that I very nearly fell asleep while I was mining obsidian, which was terrible. They were actually... Number 1, turtles. The turtles take so long to hatch. Like, an absolutely ridiculous amount of time to hatch, or at least they did for me. I found out that they mostly hatch at night, so I spent several nights in here just staring at turtle eggs, and I even got a few nice clips of turtles hatching, which I'll share for you right now. Also, getting the honey blocks was a little bit difficult, mostly because I needed to seriously upgrade my little setup here. I just need to make a bee farm, but I was just too lazy. And I only needed like 20 or so honey blocks, so it wasn't too bad, but it was still kind of a pain. Had to get honeycomb to make these and then go through and get the honey, but you know, whatever. And then the last thing was actually slime. So I installed another one of these little jump downificators and I created this, which is not good, not, you know, amazing, definitely not something to be particularly proud of, but it kind of works. I just stand here and wait for a slime to spawn. I put this guy here in the hopes that he would help attract all of them off of there, and I was thinking maybe I can turn this into an automated slime farm at some point, but I really don't think it's gonna be all that useful just because I could make a way better slime farm if I go to a swamp somewhere. So yeah. Oh, hey, we found one. But yeah, it took me a little bit to get the amount of slime that I needed, especially before I made this. Having the 3 spawning platforms helped a lot. But enough about the resource gathering. I think it's time that we actually finally get started on this project that I've been building up to this entire episode. Hopefully it's not a disappointment. That's right, we're going to be making another gold farm, but unlike the other gold farm, this one is going to be much bigger, and it's also going to have an attached piglin bartering farm onto it. So we're going to be getting a lot more gold than we were from our old one, because I was a little bit disappointed by the rates on the last one. And we're going to be able to barter basically everything. Might as well get to it. And we're done. Wow, I can honestly say that I am very, very happy and a tiny bit relieved that we are finally done with this project. This took a long time. Not just putting all this together. Honestly, putting it together wasn't too bad, but there's still a whole bunch to do. I mean, we need to get a decent path to get up there, so I'm not just taking scaffolding, and we actually don't have any way to get down to our chests except for, you know, jumping down and flying down like that. And if we leave without picking up all the XP, it actually ends up down here at the very end. But I'm happy with it for now, and to be honest, this is where I'm gonna have to leave it for this episode. I'd really hoped to get a little bit more done and, I don't know, maybe finish the piglin bartering system as well. But it's just too much. I mean, I've already done the ghast farm. I did this. I did a whole bunch of breaking bedrock, and I'm just completely out of time. But I'm honestly so proud of this. I've never really gone in and made like this kind of huge technical farm before. I mean, I've made plenty of farms before, plenty of gold farms even, but this one that I found is just absolutely insane. The farm was designed by Dash Pump 4, and I'll have a link in the description, but this is really just absolutely insane. The rates are incredible. I'm sure I'm not using it exactly correctly. I've only got one beacon here with strength, so I can't really AFK with it at the moment. But I've got to go get more beacons before I can do that because I've only got the one at the moment. And, you know, there's a few little things. A whole bunch of XP just kind of gets pushed off of the little item pusher thingy. And, you know, I've got to make it look cool. And, well, of course, I've got to hook it up to my piglin bartering system like I said I was going to. But we're just completely out of time. I had so much fun with this episode, and I hope that came through in this video. So yeah, just thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.